Hi everyone, we are live here today in the studio. Just waiting for Mo to hook us up from radio, and then we'll be going live. So do stay tuned. Quite excited about today's show.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Those questions are really good questions. I think a lot of listeners are going to get some quality answers today. Hopefully some people will call in as well. Good evening, good evening. It is Desrine. Welcome to Talks with Desrine. I am live on Power Extra. Oh God, the weeks are going so fast.
So fast.
Please welcome Esther back. Hi Esther girl.
Hello.
Thank you for coming back.
Thank you for having me back. You said the thank you before I did. Thank you for having me back. It's always nice to come back here and discuss with you. And yeah, to listen to your expertise, advice or expert advice on coaching. Love it. I'm looking forward to today's show.
Yeah, today's show, we're going to do today's show a bit different this time around, aren't we, Esther?
Yeah.
So Esther's going to ask me some questions that some clients have asked me through emails and also through listeners that have also got some questions for us. So yeah, we're literally just going to fire some questions. Well, Esther's going to fire some questions to me, and I'm going to answer them. We're going to have a bit of discussion. Yeah. But this is really going to be full-on coaching today.
It is. And I think what gave this on, so a little bit of background about why we've chosen today's topic.
Yes.
So today is all about coming out of your comfort zone, spreading your wings, so becoming the butterfly that you are.
Yes.
So being your true, authentic self. Unique self.
Yes.
But how do you do that? How do you become your true, authentic self? And also forming sisterhoods. The importance of having great relationships, great people around you that will help you through the difficult times. Because I think as we get older, we become so scared of being judged. There's so many lies that we tell ourselves. So how do we get rid of those lies that we tell ourselves based on our past experiences? What gets people stuck in a certain position or mindset? So that's what we're going to be talking about. So how we can be our true authentic self, be able to express ourselves without the fear of being judged.
Yeah, I think that's really important. Everyone who knows me, I'm an empowerment coach, female specialist. I only deal with females. My male listeners always say, "Oh, Desmond, why don't you coach men?" The only time that really men see me in that coaching capacity is when I'm doing live events, when I'm a motivational speaker. But the whole reason why my logo is a butterfly is because I believe that life is a journey.
Yeah.
And, as a butterfly, you are in a cocoon at first. And sometimes I think we need to embrace that.
Yeah.
But we can't rush to be a butterfly. We can't rush to spread your wings and to enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
That's really, really important. And that's the only way you're going to learn how to be the authentic self, is knowing who you're not to know who you are.
That's true. And I like what you just said about life as a journey, because there's so many aspects of life. We go through celebrations, we go through heartache, we go through regrets. And I think sometimes people get stuck in the regret place and don't know how to push themselves forward. There's a lot of, if I could have, shoulda, could have, this wouldn't have happened. Or if I didn't do this, I wouldn't have done this. I wouldn't be where I am today, and things like that. So I think what I really want to get out of today is, how can we help somebody? There could be somebody out there who is maybe stuck in a position where they're not able to express themselves, number one, to groups of friends, because they feel that they might be judged based on whatever actions they've done in the past. And the importance of how can someone go about expressing themselves and trusting people is the second thing. Because if you're not open about how you're feeling, so many other things come into it. That's when people can get depressed.
Yes.
You isolate yourself, so you become lonely, and then you start thinking things, assuming things that no one's actually told you.
Yeah, that's what we call in CBT, which is cognitive behavior therapy. We call that faulty thinking.
Faulty thinking.
So yeah, we'll definitely need to dive into that later on in the show. I just want to quickly give out the telephone number if you want to call in any of your coaching questions on 07584 We are live on my YouTube channel, Talks with Desrine. Please go and subscribe. You can see the lovely me and Esther.
Yeah.
Again, the telephone number is 07-584-849-199. You can either call in or WhatsApp your coaching questions. Many of the listeners do email me, so you can email me at talkswithdesrine@gmail.com, and hopefully with the emails, hopefully we usually read them out at the end of the show.
Yeah.
So hopefully we have enough time to answer the questions. So you are better off with WhatsApping or calling in.
Exactly. But it would be nice for you to call in, because I'd love to hear from someone.
Yeah.
And find out how you've gone through a process and how you've helped yourself. Or if you're going through something right now and you want Desiree to help you through a question or situation, and call in and take advantage of her coaching skills.
It's free.
Right now.
Right now, it's free. It's not free after 7 o'clock. Okay, Esther, so what is the first question you have for me?
Oh, we've got a call already.
No, I think that's a client calling my private line.
Okay, so the first question I have is, because I know that we are so conditioned by society that we all have to reach a certain milestone by a certain age. For example, there's an expectation that you need to be married. Well, within my Nigerian or African society, you need to at least be married before the age of 30. If you're not married by after 30, something's wrong. And then once you get married, you need to have children. So I think a friend of mine told me a story about a family friend of his who is over 40, but really in a depressive state because she's not married.
Okay.
So I think she's conditioned herself to think that she's a failure because she hasn't achieved what society considers to be the norm in terms of achievements. But who's to say that you're a failure because you're not married? You don't have companionship. I think it's really bad that we place certain demand on ourselves and that we allow society to place certain demands on ourselves. So I think my question is that how would you help somebody who is going through a difficult time, hardship, just really down because they haven't obtained or achieved a certain milestone in life?
Okay. Well, there's two things that's happening there.
Yeah.
I'm going to address the first issue about the marriage. I believe that we live in a society, especially as women, that we're told, if we don't have children by a certain age, and if we're not married, then we're a failure. But it's down to the individual to know what success means to you. And again, it's about being the authentic you and not allowing outside influences to dictate your life. Yeah. So my advice would be for that individual to really look within themselves. Like, who am I? What do I stand for? And what is it that I want to achieve in my life? Am I going to be defined by being married? And also, a lot of us focus on things that we don't have. So I always encourage my clients to focus on the things that they do have. Yeah. Okay, so you don't have marriage, but what do you have?
Be thankful.
Yeah, and it's about being grateful. But also, we live in an era where time constricts us. And we have that in our minds that everything has to be done within a certain time. Yeah. If you want to get married and that's something that you want for yourself, then that's something that you can work towards. I don't believe or encourage negative thinking. So I always like to look at the glass half full and not half empty. I believe that as young women, when we grow up, we're told, have children and have a husband. Yeah. And back then, that is what was classed as the norm. Yeah. And to be successful. And I believe that as we've gone on through life, women have become more successful. They've been given the freedom to live the life that they want to live. And I think, again, keep going back to being your authentic self, that sometimes you can know within yourself who you are, but you allow outside influences to change your mindset. So, for example, we are conditioned to think that all women are maternal. And that all women want to get married and all women want to have children. Yeah. So you might be one of those individuals who actually doesn't want to get married and doesn't want to have children. And you made up your mind several years ago. Yeah. And then you turn 35 and, you got the mums and the uncles saying, why are you not married and why you don't have children? And all of a sudden, you feel unhappy that you don't have those things.
Because people are telling you should.
Yeah, but they were the things that you didn't want in the first place. So you have to really stick to who you are and be authentic with what you want for your life. And to say to yourself, it's okay that I don't want what other people want. We don't all want the same things. And again, I think that life is all about being on a journey. You know, and there's many women out there that can't have children.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so we have to be aware of all these different situations because, you know, I was told by the doctors that I couldn't have children.
Yeah.
And that was quite devastating for me because, again, growing up, we're told that the success of a woman is to have a child. And I'm not taking that away. I think that women are absolutely amazing and they're creators of life. But that doesn't define you as a woman. But I find that as growing up, that's what I was told.
That's what you're taught. Yeah.
Yes. You know, that's what you do. You have children. That's what you're here for. That isn't what we're here for. Yes, that's part
of our journey.
Of, you know, our body mechanic, so to speak.
But your children grow up and leave you, don't they? So they go off and do their own thing. So once they've gone, what's your purpose?
But this is what I'm trying to explain, is that it's really important that you as a person knows your purpose, and it can't be placed on anything else. I was having a conversation with a really good friend of mine, and he said, you know, and I'm always coaching people on how to find their purpose in life, and we were just talking openly, and he said, you know, how are you able to do things so effortlessly? And I said, right then, in that moment, that's when you're doing what you're meant to be doing. That's when you're living in your purpose. It's when it's just freely.
And and there's something that I learned also. You know, I'm going to bring my religion into this.
That's okay.
When I went into my Word of Faith Bible Institute, we have a course that we do in my church that takes you back to the basics of the Bible and God's Word. And part of it was also, what is your destiny, or what is your calling? And one thing that came out of that seminar was that whatever you are called for constantly, that people keep calling you to come and do, is usually what you are called for to do in life.
And sometimes you're trying to go left.
But people keep
but what you really want to do is like the opposite to what your true calling is. So yeah, we can definitely touch more on that subject a bit later in the show, but I kind of just want to get a handle on that first question. It's all about expectations, what other people expect from you. But I think it's really important for you to know what you expect from yourself, and you must always put yourself first,
which I found hard, but I'm learning to do.
Okay, what did you find hard about it?
I just felt like, I think from my background, so I think your experiences shape you as an individual.
For sure, of course.
So from my personal background, I didn't grow up with my parents. I grew up with living in aunties and uncles' houses. So I was always kind of there to be of and help. So my natural sense, or the way I kind of saw myself, was to constantly reach out and help others. So I was constantly putting others first before me, because I was never taught to think, okay, what do you really want for yourself? What is it that you really want? Because I think people made decisions based on what they felt benefited them. As opposed to what will benefit me.
And how has that affected you as an adult?
I think as an adult, I tend to seek to help others and to please others rather than please myself.
And a lot of people do that.
Because that's how I've been taught. So it's almost like I've got to do my best for this person because they're looking after me. So I've got to do this for them, because if I don't do that for them, how can I repay them because they're looking after me?
But also, Esther, I find that a lot of my clients that I see, and even you just saying what you just said, and even sometimes myself, we make a lot of assumptions. We're thinking in our heads what we think someone else is thinking of us, but in fact, they're probably not even thinking about you, honey.
I had a conversation with a very good friend of mine the other day, and it's like, you know, she made a statement about the way I deliver messages, or the way I deliver information. And I'm like, that's not a reflection of you. It's a reflection of me. I am quite closed at times because I just am. I've always been brought up to be quite closed. So it's not a reflection that I don't want to let you know. That's just how I am.
But is that how you are? Is that your authentic self? Because again, going back to the original question about expectations. Just because you were grown that way doesn't mean that's your authentic self. That's someone else's way of living that they've imposed on you. How would Esther really deal with that situation?
But then if that's how I've always dealt with it and it's worked for me.
But is it working for you?
Okay,
if it's working for you and you find that you're not getting any kind of negative feedback from it, and it hasn't stopped you from growing at all, then great.
I don't think it stopped me from growing. I think what I'm trying to let people understand is that if I behave a certain way, it's not a reflection of you at all. It's a reflection of me and my personality. But so you just have to take people who they are.
Yeah, this is definitely true. However, are you finding that a lot of people are telling you that?
Not really.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's good. That's good.
I think people are saying that's just Esther.
Okay.
That's just how I am. But I don't know how to be any other way. I don't think I need to start
being something like that. Yeah. I think it's just really important for you to be comfortable with who you are.
Yeah.
And the reason why, I'm trying to dig, so to speak. Sorry, I don't mean to expose you, Esther. It's just that when we're growing up, so many things are fed through our subconscious mind.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised of how much isn't really you.
Maybe.
I'm not directing that to you. Yeah. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah.
And that's why sometimes you find so many people are unhappy. Why am I not in a relationship? But you probably was grown up by your mom and your dad, and you saw how beautiful their relationship was. But maybe you just didn't want to have a relationship. But it's been installed into you that you need to be in a relationship. So sometimes we don't know what's been conditioned and implanted in our minds, and what's really what we really want.
Desire.
Exactly.
Interesting. What do you guys think?
Yes, do call in.
Call in, text us. I don't know if anyone's put any messages down on.
Shall I?
On the Facebook, Instagram. Let's have a look. But another question I had for you is...
Oh, the telephone number is 07584 849 199 if you want to WhatsApp or call in. Do we have another? We have another question.
Yes. So we were talking about sisterhood and expressing oneself. Because if you find it difficult, I'm somebody that I don't want everyone to know my issues.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people are probably like that. I don't really talk about what I'm going through, but I have core friends who I can be open with and relate to, and I'll say, what do you think about this? This is what's happened. How do you think I should address it? Or this is how I'm currently feeling. There was a time when I had to be really open with one of my good friends. We grew up together, but she has her own children. So she's, a mother, a family unit, and then I'm there single. So there were times when we couldn't go out together anymore because common interest was different. Her priority now is her family.
Yeah, of course.
But I still wanted to go out and do the things that we used to do, but it's completely different. It shifted. But it doesn't take away the core of who she is as my good friend. Yeah. But which meant I had to then go out with like-minded people. Like-minded people. And it was hard at first because we kind of drifted because I guess I was going out doing what I enjoyed, and we didn't have anything in common anymore. But I had to let her know that this is what's going on, and I don't feel like we have much in common. I can't feel like I can call you.
That he was honest.
Yeah, because that's my childhood friend. I don't feel like I can call you sometimes because whenever I do, you tell me you can't come out. And
you can call me Esther. I'll come out of you. My best friend is pregnant. I'm kind of secretly going through the same sort of separation.
So dynamics of a relationship changes, and I think you then find sometimes that you don't want to burden your friend with your issues because you feel like she has a whole load of stuff that she's dealing with. Yeah. And then you start holding things in. But then that's an assumption I'm making because I haven't spoken to her about it. So I think my question is, how do you, express yourself without the fear of being judged?
Okay.
Because you should be able to, right?
In my opinion, especially when you're dealing with close friends and family, you should always be honest. You should always speak your mind because, again, what you think they're thinking, they're probably not thinking. And it's all in your mind. So the only way for you to make your relationship better and stronger is to be vocal about it. And we say throughout all relationships, communication is key. So I always say to my clients and even to my girlfriends, just think about how would you like to receive that information? You know that old saying, treat others as you'd like to be treated. And I think fear is something that comes into a lot of situations that stop us from doing things. Like, fear is an illusion.
It is. It's false evidence looking real or something like that. I'll find it.
We're only born with two fears.
You said this before.
Yeah, falling over and loud noises. Every other fear is learned.
Yeah.
So again, I think it's okay to be scared as long as it doesn't hold you back.
But where do we get that fear? I think because when you get older, you're more aware.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're so observant as well that we're so quick to judge other people.
Yeah.
And we've been conditioned to kind of judge people based on appearances, and it's all to do with milestones as well.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody looks a certain way, you almost assume that they're not as successful as the other person.
Yeah. Again, I think it's all about being who you really are. Okay, so I'm very comfortable with who I am as a person. So therefore, I've put a certain standard on my living. So whether you're a man coming into my life romantically or a girlfriend, I know how I want to be treated.
Yeah.
Because I have that self-love and that self-respect for myself. So again, that's how you need to be with the people around you. You need to know what you will not stand for.
Yeah.
Don't be scared of losing people.
No, because
especially if they're not giving you what you want.
need,
and that's whether that's a girlfriend or a guy. You have to put yourself first all the time. And I know that sounds really selfish, but a good example that I like to use is when you're on an airplane, an air hostess tells you the safety tips.
Yeah.
They say, put the mask on you first before you put it on your child. And that's such a great example because I know that mums would be like, no, I have to look after my child. But if you don't look after yourself first,
how can you look after
anybody else?
Yeah.
So it's really important that you respect yourself enough to have your own standards. And if that person's not adhering to that, it's okay to express yourself. Let that person know how you're feeling.
Let the person know. That's the key.
Yeah.
Don't just walk away. Let them know exactly what you're feeling. Yeah. Give them a chance to adapt to you. If they can't, then
and bounce. I would say, I know it's scary, to express yourself. So I would say do it with little things because you'll find that it has a domino effect. If you're someone that's not used to expressing yourself, you're probably going through life having people do things to you that you don't want done to you.
It's a lot of resentment.
Even down to going to the restaurant and, I don't eat meat, but say you get a steak and it's not the way you want it
and you don't say.
Many people don't say. Oh, honey, I say.
I do as well. I do.
You have to say.
This is too cold. I can't eat this. Or this is not the right temperature. You have to be vocal about it. Because obviously when you're eating it, you're only upsetting yourself.
Because it's something that you don't want. Yeah.
So why should you take something that you don't want in? But I found the quote. It's FAIR stands for false evidence appearing real.
Indeed. So
let's get rid of it. People call us, text us. I want to know what are the things that you tell yourself that is negative and you're trying to change all the time. Because I know at times in the past, I don't really do that anymore. Now I affirm myself.
Okay.
There'll be situations that I think when you go to certain interviews, you're like, oh gosh, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't think I can do this job. You're already telling yourself you don't think you can do the job. And I used to be scared to apply for certain corporations because I didn't think I fitted in.
Yeah.
I never thought about it until one day I just thought, actually, I can do what they're doing.
But where did that come from?
I have no idea.
This is why I say to people, you have to be very careful what goes into your subconscious mind.
Yeah.
You really have to protect it. And that's why I'm always banging on about affirmations. Tell yourself daily how amazing you are, how powerful you are, how strong and special you are. And again, that's down to faulty thinking. When you catch yourself thinking something negative about yourself, stop yourself, be aware of it, and then tell yourself 3 things that you really love about yourself.
Yeah. And I think it's also important after a relationship breakup as well, because let's say it wasn't you that broke the relationship up, that can have a negative effect on some people because you start to question and ask the reasons why you felt you're not good enough.
Yeah.
So I think that's another thing to ensure that once you are in a relationship that didn't work, ensure that you look at yourself and you remind yourself that you are more than enough and that you are good enough. And the person who's supposed to love you will love every single bit of you. They will adore it. So I think that's an important thing as well.
Yeah, and I just think it just goes back to that core message, being your authentic self.
Yeah.
And if someone doesn't love you or appreciate you
for who you are, then
that's not the right person.
Yeah.
I believe that you meet everyone for a reason, and some people are for seasons.
Yeah.
And I think that if a relationship doesn't work, that's okay. You've learned from it. I think that's the most important thing.
So what can we tell people who have gone through a relationship breakup but haven't really come out of that state? I know of people, in the past who maybe 2, 3, 4 years haven't managed to move on.
And they've separated from their partner.
Yeah. But haven't really managed to move on.
Okay, so I'm not a relationship coach.
Yeah.
As you know, I'm a confidence coach and a CBT therapist, so I don't really deal with those sorts of issues on a day-to-day occurrence.
Yeah.
But a couple of clients that I have had that have been in long-term marriages for 20 years, for example, I have a lady that came to me for confidence coaching.
Okay.
Because she just came out of a 20-year relationship. Now, when people are in a relationship, they do a lot of compromising. And again, it's about knowing your true purpose in life. Like, you know, I'm just going to call her Samantha.
Yeah.
You know, who is Samantha? What does Samantha want out of her life? Then you really need to be real with yourself. You know, everyone that comes to me as a client knows I'm a very straight talking coach. And it's all about looking in the mirror and saying, okay, what did I do wrong? First and foremost, you have to ask yourself, what did I do wrong?
Yeah.
What have I learned from this situation?
Yeah.
And how am I going to move on?
Okay.
They're the 3 things that you need to ask yourself. Because what you don't want to do is just dive into self-pity.
Yeah.
Okay? And just accept. It's all about accepting things as well. If a relationship didn't work, and sometimes you know the relationship wasn't good, but you're still caught up in the fact that you lost that person.
Work. Yeah.
Yeah, so my advice to anyone who has separated from their partner and still feels a bit stuck, wake up, get alive again. You know, like, who are you?
Yeah.
Write down your passions, write down your goals, you know, make a bucket list. What are all the things that you've always wanted to do?
Yeah.
You know, life is so beautiful. There's like billions of people in the world.
Yeah.
You know, have you always wanted to travel? Go traveling. Have you always wanted to learn how to write poetry, paint?
Yeah.
Just do it.
And I would advise that people should try something by themselves. So things like going to dinner and sitting by yourself, or having lunch by yourself, just to enjoy your own company.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes we feel like we have to be with somebody. You don't have to.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we call attachment theory in psychology. That's a whole nother show when we start talking about attachment theory. Very, very interesting theory. But it's just about being attached to having that person.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are in relationships and they're not happy, but they're comfortable. And I think you need, they think it works.
Yeah.
But you need to get comfortable being uncomfortable and being okay with yourself. And sometimes you need to take off that bandage and be like, okay, let me see this wound and look at it and nurture
Instead of covering it up all the time.
Yeah. So my best advice would be to really look at yourself. Those 3 tips that I gave earlier. Really look at who you are. What do you want out of life? What do you want to achieve? What are your passions?
Yeah.
You know, get some hobbies and really just be with you. You know, because that person probably hasn't been by themselves for quite a long time.
Yeah.
So just be with you and learn about you again. Because sometimes when you're in a relationship, you can kind of lose yourself.
You can.
And accept that it's over.
Yeah.
Accept that it's a part of a chapter in your book. I say to all of my clients, you're the author. Yeah. This is your book, baby.
You write your own story.
Yeah, write a new chapter. What kind of life do you want to live? Who do you want to be?
Yeah.
How do you want to feel? Ask yourself these questions. How do I want to feel when I wake up in the morning?
Yeah. And I think the flip side can also happen if you're on your own for too long. You can be so used to your own company that you don't feel like sharing yourself.
But again, I think that's okay. I think that we have all these expectations of how we should be like, what we should be like. What, you know, just do you. If you feel like chilling at home, chill at home. If you feel like going for a walk, you feel like going to the cinema by yourself, just go. You know, I think that we live in a society where we're so conditioned about the social norms. Yeah. What's normal? Yeah. Just do you. What feels normal to you?
And in fact, if I go to the cinema by myself, people are thinking,
yeah,
how come she's in the cinema by herself? Yeah. You know?
But you're a bit of a loner. Yeah. Yeah. But that's not true.
I don't know if I'll do that though.
I don't know if I would go to the cinema by myself. I quite like going to the cinema. I tell you one thing. Yeah. I used to be that lady or young girl back then. I didn't like being by myself. Okay. I had to have all my girlfriends around me, and that's really dangerous. Is that? I don't know. I don't know. But the reason why I say it's dangerous is because if you're not comfortable being by yourself, there's something wrong. Yeah. That means you're not ready to deal with your own thoughts, right? And then I find, even with other young girls that I sometimes coach at the colleges, that they will surround themselves with men or be in relationships with men that are no good. Yeah. And some adults do it too, just because they don't want to be lonely. Yeah. But now I love being by myself.
Yeah. But you get the wrong kind of, like, with those relationships, you're still lonely though. Yeah. Because you're not being fully fulfilled. Those men are just coming into your lives taking whatever they want,
Mm-hmm.
and then leaving you back to the same state they found you in.
Mm. Well, worse.
Yeah, which is even more dangerous, because then you start to question yourself even more.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I just say remain celibate.
Esther's
Until you
words,
get
not
married.
mine.
Don't even taste it. Any young women listening to me right now, wait till you're married. It's not worth it.
Do you think, really?
Yeah.
But how can you
I wish I waited.
Did you?
Yeah, I wish.
Or do you rather?
Yeah. I think I was too young. I wasn't that young, because I was one of the last to lose my virginity. I was called Virgin E for so long. And then now they've got Virgin E gyms everywhere.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, because I just thought, no, I'm not going to do it. And looking back, some relationships, and I always made men wait.
Okay.
By the way. But looking back, I just thought, actually, sex is such an emotional thing. It's to me, I think it's very emotional. And it leaves you with so many mixed feelings if you're not truly in love.
Okay.
If you're not truly in love in the relationship, or really getting what you need from that relationship, it's almost like you're substituting that for something else.
I think it all depends on the reasons why you're doing it, and that applies to anything in life. What are your reasons why you're doing something? I
think sex should be in a loving relationship is sweeter. And I was in a loving relationship for a very long time, and I can say yes, it made sense then. And now I've been celibate for so long. I'm waiting.
Are you celibate now?
Yeah.
How long have you been celibate for?
I'm not telling everyone. I am.
That's another show.
Yeah.
We'll write you back to talk about that.
Because obviously being born again as well, and it's a hard journey. It's not an easy journey.
Yeah.
It's all parts of it, and it's waiting for the right person, waiting to be in the right relationship. And you find that when you take the sexual element out of it, you really get to know the core of the person. That's when they really show you their true colors.
Yeah.
Because they're not trying to win your affection and get that thing, because men are hunters, aren't they? The one thing that they're really seeking for is to, well, my experience anyway, is to get the cookie. Predominantly, that's what they want.
This is the thing. I think we're going to have to talk about this on another show.
It'll be great too.
Because we're just going to go completely off topic here. And we've only got less than 20 minutes to go. Do we have any more questions?
We do. So the other question was, how can someone who is so used to internalizing their thoughts and feelings free themselves of the negative thoughts?
Ask me that question again.
How can somebody who is so used to internalizing their thoughts and feelings free themselves of negative thoughts?
Okay, so that's two questions in one.
Yeah, so how can someone who's used to internalizing their thoughts free themselves?
Okay, so let's talk about that first.
Yeah.
So if an individual is used to harboring feelings inside, so I kind of touched on that just a moment ago, didn't I?
So not expressing if your food's cold.
I would advise take little steps.
Okay.
You know, also learn the word no. I think that's really, really important.
Especially in a place of work as well.
Yeah.
There's some people who can't say, actually, no, I can't do that. They'll just take everything on because they want to please everyone. They want to be the best worker. They want to be... Yeah. And again, it's about setting your own standards. You can't really embark on this journey until you start to address who you are as a person. And that's why I keep making this important point of being your authentic self and taking that time out to just be with yourself. I would advise you probably get pen and paper and write down who you are. You know, write down all the qualities that you love about yourself. But then also write down the things that you want to work on. Because no one's perfect. No.
Okay, you need yin and yang to work. And then first steps would be to do that. And then maybe try and write down how you're feeling. Because sometimes people don't express themselves because they can't quite understand or comprehend how they're actually feeling. So write it down on a piece of paper first. Take baby steps. Because sometimes what will happen is you're just going to explode. You're going to keep all these feelings inside and then you're just going to snap. So I would say take small steps. Write down all the things that you love about yourself. Write down all the things that you want to work on. And then the third thing would to kind of keep a journal on how you're feeling. Like a day-to-day journal on how you're feeling. A really good exercise would be, okay, how am I feeling today? I'm feeling happy today. Okay, then write down a situation that may have happened at work. Okay, so Jane came in and she made me a cup of tea and she put 2 sugars in instead of 3. Okay, how did I feel about that?
Okay.
How did I respond
to that?
and how could have I respond?
Okay.
And then keep a journey.
Interesting.
On how you're doing.
Okay. So take baby steps.
Take baby steps.
But start by writing what your likes are, what your dislikes are, what you'd like to improve, and then go from there. Yeah,
but that important step about keeping that journal of your journey is really important, because you're not, at first, you may not respond how you want to respond. That's okay. Write down, oh, I responded by just saying, thank you, Sarah, hypothetically. And then write down, how did you want to respond? Okay, I really want you to say, oh, Sarah, could I have an extra sugar?
Okay. Yeah. Okay,
then it becomes clearer in your mind.
Yeah. Okay, I like that. So what about someone who's used to having negative thoughts? So internalizing negative thoughts, how can they free themselves from that?
Okay, again, this is all about self-love and affirmations. So I would like you to tell yourself every morning how amazing you are.
Okay.
Look in the mirror and tell yourself how beautiful you are. And tell yourself all the things that you're good at. You know, so whether that's, you know, I'm really good at talking, or I am a really good friend, I'm an amazing sister.
Yeah.
You know, and start off with I am. I am is very, very powerful. What you put after I am will definitely shape your future. Also, if you catch yourself thinking something negative, be aware of it. So if you say to yourself, oh, and it's the little things that you might not even know is negative thoughts. Like if you say something like, oh, I'm so silly. No. Catch yourself and then think of 3 amazing things about yourself. So just replace it, and then before you know it, you've created a habit.
I like that. Okay, we like that. Fantastic. What steps should, this is another question now.
Okay. Oh, I like these questions.
What steps should they take in order? Okay, so if somebody is not so sure about how to express to other people. So this is where I feel that we have an issue of a lot of mental illness and depression, where people don't feel they can open up to other people.
So that's about being safe in a safe environment.
So what steps can they take in order to form and have positive people around them? So how would I know that, okay, it's safe for me to be able to talk to you, Desrine. This is what I'm going through. And to take away the fear of you judging me if I was to tell you exactly how I'm really feeling at my lowest.
Yeah, I think that's 2 different issues there. Because if you're coming to see me, I'm a professional.
That's true. So, okay, let's take it away from, we're making it professional. So as a coach, how would you advise somebody?
Okay, well, if someone's coming to see me, they would already know all my credentials that are on my website. And that's why us coaches put them on there for people to feel safe. It's in a mutual setting. It's at my office. It's not in my home. It's not in their home. And I reassure them that they're in a safe environment. And I find that when people come to see a professional, whether that's a doctor, a coach, a therapist, they generally feel safe because it's a safe environment.
And they don't feel the person can judge them.
And it's non-judgmental. And as a coach, I don't judge anyone. I don't believe there's any right or wrong. It's how you're feeling. I have no right to tell you how you should or shouldn't be feeling. But if you're going to speak to a friend, I think listen to your instincts. If you don't trust that person and you don't feel like you're in a safe environment, you're probably right. You know? But again, look in your circle and see who is that one person, because I think having that outlet is really, really important.
Very important.
So just look in your circle and think to yourself, okay, who is it that I can go to? Because I don't think the issue in that question is who can I go to? It's how can I express myself without them judging me? So again, just be okay with how you're feeling. It's, you know, it's going back to that original question at the beginning about this norm. Like, what do we think is normal? And however you're feeling or thinking, many other people have probably gone through that same feeling. So again, it's just about being comfortable with who you are and being comfortable enough to be like, do you know what? This is who I am.
It's okay.
And it's okay. I need help. And it's not weak.
The key.
I need help. And being vulnerable. A lot of people think that being vulnerable is being weak, but being vulnerable is being strong. And when I say that, I mean, for you to tell someone that you need help, for you to cry, for you to show someone your sensitive or emotional side, that's a lot of strength. You know, and I want to be careful how I use that word vulnerable. You know, for example, I'm learning how to read a atlas.
Okay. Wow.
Because I don't know how to read it, right? So,
but we have this is a map. We have Google Maps.
Yeah, I know. But I wanted to learn how to read it.
Yeah.
You know, and growing up, I went to 7 different schools, right?
Okay.
So my education was interrupted a lot.
Okay.
And
could that be why you feel like having friends around you all the time? Because you kept changing friends at schools.
I don't know. I think that made me very well equipped to deal with people because I was so used to going to different places.
Yeah.
But yeah, let me make my point quickly. So I'm learning how to read an atlas, right?
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm using this example is just to show you about being vulnerable. I find that as an adult, if you're going to learn something, whether that's basic maths or English or something that many people might think is silly, like how to read an atlas, it's quite a vulnerable thing to tell another adult, I don't know how to do this.
Okay.
And through my whole self-development, I never wanted to admit when I needed help.
That's true.
It was like my pride.
Yeah.
And also I just never wanted anyone to see me vulnerable because I find I'm quite a strong character, or I wanted to perceive
as a strong character.
So I never wanted to ask for help. I never wanted to pick up the phone and ask for favors. But as I was on my journey and as I became more of a better businesswoman, because you know, I've always had businesses from a very young age, I realized the power of asking for help.
It makes your job a lot easier.
It makes your job a lot more easier. People actually like helping you.
Yeah.
But for me, that was a really big deal because I felt very vulnerable.
Yeah.
And even expressing my feelings, you know, if I like a guy, if I tell a guy that I like him, I'm like, I feel quite vulnerable.
I still can't do that unless he tells me first.
Really? You see, ladies, we've been very, very honest on today's show. So, you know, again, we're always on a journey, you know, and I think as long as you accept that you're on a journey, it's okay.
Yeah.
Because that's what life is all about. You're not going to learn
it's not going to be perfect.
who you are within, you know, even at 50, I think you're still learning who you are
because
as a woman.
Life changes.
Exactly.
We're constantly dealing with the different changes of life. So you're going to have to constantly adapt. So by adapting, you might have to change a certain aspect of you. So we're evolving every day.
I love that word.
Yeah, we are every single day. And with that, we're learning something new about ourselves as well, you know. But I think it's interesting that you said to try something new. One of my older sisters is, I hope she doesn't mind me, she won't mind me saying this, but when she was younger, she wasn't really encouraged to study.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
This is back in Nigeria.
Coming from an African background.
But she lived with other family members before my dad made his money and stuff. But within that family unit, for some reason, they didn't push her. And studying was not her strongest point. But rather than push her to something else, they just did not push her to anything.
Okay.
So now that she's a lot older and she feels a sense of, oh my God, I've missed out. And there was another thing as well, she didn't feel she could always speak out. So now my sister's forever speaking out.
Good for her.
She doesn't care what she says on the family WhatsApp. She just puts it out there. There's better out than in. I'm telling you.
Yes, girl. Yeah. I like
she just lets it all out, and she's going and doing all these courses.
Good for her.
And she's constantly putting information up to say, look, this is what I've done.
Good.
You know, this is what I've, you know, she's really into it, and she's opening up her mind, and she's over 50. But she's thoroughly enjoying herself, and she's keeping herself occupied by trying new things. And put in any situation, and that she can't stop dancing as well.
Good.
And she never used to do that. She was somebody who probably would stand in a corner and not feel so comfortable.
I love dancing.
But I think the older you get, you just don't care.
Yeah.
You just start thinking life is just too short for me not to be happy.
Yeah, I've always been like that.
Yeah.
I never really care.
There was a time I was like that, where I'm so forward, just go for it, so confident. And then something happened. I can't really explain what happened. I think in my 20s, I just kind of became a little bit more quieter. But now, I'm just like,
I think with confidence, sometimes it can come in waves, and sometimes things can happen to you that knocks your confidence.
Without you realizing sometimes.
Yeah, without even realizing, for sure. But again, that's all part of your journey, and I think that you should take all of these experiences and make them fuel you to become a stronger and better person. You know, and I think your sister's a great example of not allowing your past to dictate your future.
Exactly.
You know, again, I went to 7 different schools.
Wow.
You know, so for me to have the qualifications that I have now and have all the things that I have now, I don't think my teachers ever predicted that for me, you know, because I remember speaking to one of my teachers and I said, oh, yeah, I want to be a psychologist. And he was like, oh, Desrine, you'll never be a psychologist.
You didn't say that to you?
Yeah, he said, oh, you'll never be a psychologist because your science isn't good enough.
Ooh.
But there will always be people out there that are going to tell you you can't do something.
Yeah.
There's always going to be people out there that are going to doubt you.
Yeah.
There's always going to be someone out there that's going to be like, oh, that girl thinks she's too nice.
Yeah.
Or, oh, what other people think of you is none of your business.
That's
and I
true.
say that
all the time.
All the time.
So when that's that, and when you start thinking like that, you won't even assume what other people are thinking.
Yeah.
Because it just wouldn't matter. You just listen to your own inner voice.
Yeah.
Affirming you and letting you know.
Yeah.
And your inner voice will let you know when you're doing things wrong.
Yeah, and trust yourself.
Yeah.
I find that a lot of ladies and men, we don't trust ourselves. Trust your instincts, you know. And when I say trust yourself, it means in so many different ways. If you have a business idea, trust in yourself. Trust in your idea that it's going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trust in your decisions that you make. Even if it's the wrong decision, in a way it's the right decision because it was your decision.
I like that. Because you weren't influenced.
Because you wasn't influenced.
Yeah.
And trust in timing.
That's a good one. I like that one.
You know, especially for that lady who's been out of a relationship for some time.
Yeah.
And she just feels stuck.
Yeah.
Trust in timing. Trust that you are where you're supposed to be right now. Trust that everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
And she knows what she has to do. We always know what we have to do. It's just making that first step.
It's always the hardest part, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where you know, for example, you know you've got to go to the gym. But you're just like, oh, you just can't do it. I'm just talking from experience.
Not me, I went to the gym
twice. But I'm getting better. Show off.
But it is that first step, isn't it? Because sometimes you're really tired. You're like, oh, I don't want to go.
Yeah.
But how great do you feel once you made that first step?
It's true. It's true. So I think that's what it is. Telling yourself the right things, and I believe in prayers. I always say, take time out. You know, to really, if you are in that deeper state, just take time out and just cry to God. Cry and let him know your deepest thoughts. If you firsthand don't feel like you can talk to anybody, then go to that place of comfort. Call him in and just let him know that, you know what, you've put me here. You need to make this right for me. Show me the way. Give me that sense of direction, you know. Spirit of discernment. Give me the spirit of discernment so I know who is for me and who's not for me. Yeah. You know, because some of us with really good hearts, you're just so willing. And then you get bitten so many times, you become really resentful. Yeah. And then you don't feel like you can be the true you. Yeah. But being the true you is what gives you the blessing. Yeah. So don't ever forget that. So don't try and do hate for hate. So someone like me, I'm just so giving. Yeah. I have to give. If I start to stop giving, then it's almost like I'm holding myself of my blessing. So don't do that. Don't react to whatever situation people have dealt with, whatever card people have dealt with. Remember that your blessing is being who you are. You know?
Yeah, being your authentic self. I mean, I love, you know, when you express yourself and your religion, and I respect your views. I feel that, especially as a coach, I always I never bring in religion or anything like that when I'm coaching. So what I would always say is to take 100% responsibility for your life and not to shift it onto a reason why something happened, because then you're just making excuses for yourself. You know, you just got to keep it real. Okay, what happened? Why did it happen? You know, events, response, outcome. You can't always control the event, but you can always control the response, which means that you can create the outcome.
I like that.
And that's what I would say about that.
Yeah. Declare, believe, and just go for it. And it will all come out right. It always does. It always does. And that's the funny thing. We worry so much about things that we can't control. Yeah. And then when you look back, that situation you were going through was actually preparing you for the next stage. Yeah. Well, I find that we only complain about things that we know we can change. You complain about your job, you complain about your weight, you complain about your relationship, because these are all the things you can actually change. Interesting. So go ahead and change it, girl. So before we wrap up, tell us about your event that's coming up. Yes, so as you guys know or should know by now, I run a networking event which is called Corporate Africa, and it happens first Friday of every month, and we always have a theme every month. So this coming month, at 5th of August, Yeah. On the 5th of August, it's all about careers and mentors. And we have, I'm so excited about our speakers. We have 3 amazing speakers lined up. And they're going to be sharing their views about how they got to where they are. We have the lady called Morenike Ajayi, who has her own TV show called Career Nuggets. And she
I love that.
Yeah.
Career Nuggets.
And so she gives career tips and how to move forward, how to get more money.
Fantastic.
We've got an amazing guy called William Adosi. And William is 25 and he started his career at the age of 19. He was first business at the age of 19. And now he's gone on to build an empire of a watch company called Vital. And they're giving money away to educate children in Africa. So a percentage of that goes to educating children in Africa. And then an amazing guy called Onyi Anyodo. Oh God, I'm so sorry if I've said that wrong. And he's a multi-award winning global relationship speaker and a life coach as well. So he's going to be talking about the importance of leadership, especially in your career at work. So really, really great people. So I'm excited. Not to be missed. It's going to be at Jaeger Bar. If you want more information, visit our website, which is Corporate Africa, but Africa with a K instead of a C, .com.
And again, the date for us, Esther?
It's Friday the 5th of August, and it's from 6 to 11 p.m. It's a free event, so come through. You don't have to pay, and you're going to leave really impacted and inspired. Trust me. And people make amazing connections, and that's how Desrine and I met.
I know.
You know, all my amazing achievements have actually come from networking.
Yeah, networking is so important.
You know,
so important.
Meeting like-minded people and then coming together and making things work.
Yeah, didn't we get an email about that? We keep getting emails about how do we attract like-minded people.
We did, and we suggested that they go to networking events.
Yeah. And you know, a couple of my clients have asked me, Desrine, why don't you put on your own networking event? I am cooking up something. You know, I'm always on my toes.
Yes.
I've got a new project that's going to be released very, very soon. I'm not going to talk on that right now. I'm going to keep it hush hush. But yeah, definitely, in order for you to attract like-minded people, you have to do the things that other like-minded people do.
Exactly. And you've got to be willing to come out of your comfort zone as well. So that's another thing.
But you know what I find? I coach a lot of ladies that are actually very scared to go to a networking event really, really quickly because we've got to wrap up in like 4 minutes. I would encourage you to go to a networking event because everyone there is there for the same reason that you're there, to network and to talk to people.
Exactly.
And in fact, before I host my own networking event, I'm going to do a workshop on how to network at a networking event.
Okay, that'll be interesting.
I just thought about that at the top of my head. So now I've got to do it, right? Because I get so many inquiries about, you know, Desrine, what do I wear? What do I say? How do I introduce myself? I even coached a young person, well, I say young person, but she was in her 20s, about how to leave a conversation.
Okay.
You know, without being rude. And these are things that might come very natural to you
some people,
and to, you know, and to others. But to other people, these are all the things that they are thinking about.
That is such an interesting point because if somebody's really taking up your time at a networking event, because you need to move around, you don't want to be with just one person. That is actually interesting. How do you actually leave a conversation? But yeah, so I think it's important. And I hope you guys are taking something amazing out of today. It's all about telling yourself the positive things about yourself and knowing that if you don't care what people think about you, it won't even come into your thought process about whether or not they're thinking what they're thinking, because who cares what they're thinking? It's about you, and we have to be selfish about our lives. You know, not in a cruel way where you're mean to other people, but taking responsibility and ownership for your life. And just remember that you're perfect just the way you are, and life is a beautiful journey. And some of us are just about coming out of that cocoon, about to spread our wings as a butterfly. And some of us are still in the cocoon. But as long as you realize where you are and the stage you are in life, and that you're working towards becoming a butterfly or towards becoming a better you, then that's all that matters. And remember, comparison is a thief of joy. So don't ever compare yourself to others, because all you're doing is stealing your joy away. You don't need to compare yourself with anyone else, because you're perfect just the way you are. And on that note, ladies, I'm going to wrap up. Do follow me on my Instagram at the Female Empowerment Coach. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Talks with Desrine. Esther
It's been such a pleasure to have
It's
you.
been amazing.
You're going to be
Thank
back
you,
next
guys.
week.
Yes, I am.
You're going to be back next week live on Power Extra. This is Desrine, and you've been listening to Talk to Desrine with the beautiful Esther. Have a great evening.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Mm.